So first and foremost, I would just tell you that it was an obligation. What I felt was a debt of obligation to share information that I knew, because I knew that people have problems. They have health problems, they have life problems, they've got financial problems. People have all kinds of problems. And when in a professional capacity as a healthcare provider, we have an oath, which is literally we are swearing to uphold the tenets that give us that license and that very ability to serve people. And the first one is to first do no harm. And the second is take everything that you know, your experience, your education, your schooling, and your practice knowledge, and apply that for the betterment of your patients. And if you're not doing that, you are not living up to your oath. And so when I realized what the power of the only product we had at the time was Protandim NRF2, but when my own personal experience and putting it first in 6 patients in my practice and then an additional 30, once I started to see, so you mentioned posture correction. So kind of think of the analogy of the difference between a general dentist and an orthodontist. A general dentist will tell you how to take care of your teeth, give you maybe a toothbrush and some flossing advice, and see you when you have a cavity and tell you to take care of your teeth. An orthodontist, on the other hand, takes crooked teeth and makes them straight. That's what my practice background was. So I wasn't a headache and back pain kind of doctor. I was taking somebody with scoliosis or a whiplash or something wrong in their mid back or their thoracic cage, their rib cage, or a loss of curve in their neck, and through exercises and traction, put those curves and the normal posture back in the spine to alleviate the pressure that allows or that is interfering with the brain's ability to communicate to the body. And once I started seeing that the patients that were on Protandim NRF2, their x-rays were correcting 30 to 40% faster than 12 previous years of practice using the same identical protocol. That's when I realized I had a debt of obligation to share this with everyone who would listen. I didn't have the obligation to make them sign up or buy the product, but I did have the obligation to tell them, otherwise I literally wasn't living up to my practice or my license and my very ability to practice. So that's why. And I did the scientific background. I looked at the studies because, one, I didn't want to share a product that wasn't working. I demonstrated that. And I didn't want to get behind a movement, which is what I thought LifeVantage was. And I still consider it to be a massive global movement to this day. But I didn't want to jeopardize my personal or professional reputation and the credibility of my name in doing so. So there had to be the scientific validation. So I wasn't trying to convince someone why they should take the product or tell them the story of somebody they don't know and that person's experience on the product, or give them a brochure that they have to trust me on, because I love trust, but I would never imply it on someone or expect it of them, especially a stranger. But if I have a scientific background to fall back on that is proving the product, it's printed in medical journals, not my opinion, and I have a debt of obligation because I know that it works, that was the perfect blend of opportunity for me to jump in with LifeVantage. Reluctantly, I will tell you, I was not a fan of network marketing in the beginning. And it was something that I jumped into not so significantly that 18 months after doing so, I literally sold my practice, canceled my radio show, and went home to be a stay-at-home dad, where I've been for the last 14 years.